Hybrid add-ons can help old diesel trucks last longer, use less fuel, and pollute less, without buying new vehicles. Tandem's Centaur does this by adding a hybrid electric drive to single-axle diesel tractors. It drives on electricity first when the battery is charged, then switches to diesel when the battery runs low. That means the truck can keep working without stopping or taking detours to charge. Centaur comes in 3 options. First is the basic hybrid system. Second is the Power Pack, a removable battery that adds extra driving range. Third is the Power Pack APU, which can power refrigerated trailers. With the APU, fleets can keep using their current trailers without upgrading the refrigeration equipment, handy for electric cooling. Tandem also provides a tool called Scope Tree to track emissions in real time. It shows how each truck is performing and how much it's emitting, so managers can follow new rules and plan better routes. Installing Centaur doesn't require big changes. Drivers don't need extra training, and trucks can get the upgrade and go back to work quickly. The system supports plug-in charging and may also capture some braking energy. For fleets worried about the high price of brand new electric truck, Centaur offers a cheaper path, up to 90% less than full replacement. This folding truck trailer is built for hauling timber and solves 2 everyday problems: getting big rigs through tight spots and paying extra taxes when you're driving empty. It uses a hydraulic folding system. To switch modes, you just press one button. Folding or unfolding takes about 90 seconds. When there's no load, the trailer folds up onto the towing truck. That makes the whole vehicle shorter and can improve grip, which is especially helpful on rough forest roads. Because only the truck is effectively in use, driving feels more stable on uneven ground. A shorter vehicle can also mean lower road taxes in places that charge by vehicle length for heavy trucks. The compact shape makes it easier to get into cramped areas you often find in forestry work. Since it folds and deploys quickly, drivers can turn around faster and use less fuel when moving between jobs. It also helps when loading zones space is tight. In the yard, a folded trailer takes up less room. That makes storage and fleet planning simpler, useful if your depot is small or you have several units waiting between jobs. The trailer is made by Mobas AG, a Swiss company with more than 60 years of experience designing specialized vehicle bodies. They build many custom vehicles, like refrigerated trucks, hydraulic hook lift systems, timber bodies, and task-specific trailers. This is a safety device that mounts on the back of a work truck. It's about 13 feet tall when folded up for transport and weighs around 2,300 pounds. Its job is to absorb the force of a car or truck that hits the back of the vehicle, helping protect workers and drivers. It fits trucks that weigh between 16,000 and 22,000 pounds, and it's even been tested on trucks up to 40,000 pounds. It plugs into a 175 amp power source and works with both 12 volt and 24 volt systems. You control it with a wired controller inside the cab or from up to 49 feet away on trailer setups. Inside, there's a patented system with 12 blades that slow and spread out the crash forces in stages. The first blades cut through aluminum beams, the next blades shear metal tubes, and the last section bends in a controlled way to soak up any remaining energy. It comes with built-in LED lights and includes protection to keep smaller vehicles from sliding underneath. All the hydraulics and electronics are sealed in one enclosure, and 2 hydraulic rams plus electric motors handle raising, lowering, and deploying the cushion. The unit sets up fast, under 20 seconds, even if the truck is moving at highway speeds, up to 50 miles per hour. When not in use, it folds up vertically to save space at the back of the truck and to cut wind drag. You can add options like reflective stickers, a brake lock system, arrow boards for directing traffic, and GPS tracking that ties into traffic alert services. This 2-axle car transporter is built for efficiency and easy load control. It can carry up to 6 passenger cars. Each axle is a heavy-duty 10-ton Gigant drum type. Air suspension helps spread the weight evenly and keeps the ride stable. The loading system uses hydraulics and air power. The first platform sits on the gooseneck and has hydraulic pistons with a worm screw to fine-tune the height. The second and third platforms fold and tilt hydraulically. You can control the system with simple mechanical levers or a wireless teleradio remote. There's also an optional PLC setup that lets you monitor how the hydraulics are working and get system feedback. 2 hydraulic winches are included, each rated for 3,500 kilograms with 25-meter steel cables, oil tanks, and an emergency stop. Aluminum ramps pull out by hand, and hydraulic bumpers give extra support during loading. The transporter itself weighs about 12,000 kilograms and can carry a payload of up to 32,000 kilograms. There's also a smaller single-car version for compact jobs. It weighs around 800 kilograms, can carry about 1,950 kilograms. This front area safety system watches the space right in front of the truck when you're moving slowly. It uses 2 radars in the bumper plus a camera behind the windshield to keep an eye on roughly 2.6 to 12 feet ahead. The sensors work together to tell if what's ahead is a person or a cyclist and which way they're moving. It focuses on a spot that drivers often can't see during slow maneuvers, like pulling away from a stop or squeezing through tight city streets. If the truck is stopped and someone steps into that monitored zone, you'll see a colored warning area on the instrument display. If you're already rolling, that same area flashes and an alert sound plays to grab your attention. The idea is simple. Warn you early so you don't miss people directly in your path. This system is one part of a larger safety package. Above 6 miles per hour, Emergency Brake Assist Plus takes over and can also spot people outside the direct lane. It starts with visual and audio warnings and, if needed, can apply the brakes automatically. There's also Safe Stop Assist. It combines lane keeping, cruise control, and checks that the driver is still engaged. If it senses the driver isn't steering or responding, it can bring the truck to a controlled stop. This system secures cargo automatically. It uses electric winches or air-powered tensioners to tighten the straps in just seconds. A special cover called Fix Road slides along rails on the trailer ceiling. It shapes itself over different loads: pallets, sacks, rolls, or bales. You control everything from the cab, even by radio, which means no manual strap handling. The system keeps an eye on strap tension while you drive and automatically retightens if the load settles. Units installed back in 2013 are still working in tough, daily operations. TruckSafe was built to save time. Securing a load takes under a minute, which keeps shuttle runs moving and lets drivers multitask, like starting paperwork or prepping the vehicle, while the system works on its own. Because nobody needs to climb onto the vehicle or manually secure straps, the risk of injuries drops. The cover is reusable and built for the real world: rain, sun, heat, cold, and dirt. By replacing disposable securing materials, it also cuts waste in the transport chain. This brings the biggest gains in high-throughput industries like beverage and paper transport, where loads must be stable and turnaround is fast. By keeping tension consistent and removing human error, the system improves reliability and helps reduce the risk from poor cargo restraint, a factor in about 1/4 of truck accidents. What once took 20 minutes of effort now takes just 90 seconds with a smooth glide. That's the edge the Rollerbed gives you. This system uses compressed air from the truck's air tanks or a small onboard tank. The air lifts small rollers up out of the floor so pallets can glide across the trailer. When you're done, the rollers drop back down so the floor is flat and safe to walk on. Each meter of the system can carry up to 1,213 pounds. You can choose different roller modules. MK4, a single 50mm roller, for standard pallets. MK17, wider, for block pallets. MK21, twin rollers, for air cargo. And MK24, twin, extra low, for trailers with limited internal height. You run the system from a control box on the trailer, or a handheld pendant, and one person can operate it. A safety valve keeps the trailer's braking air separate from the roller system. If the vehicle starts moving unexpectedly, an auto-down feature automatically lowers the rollers. Built-in pallet stops, 2 at the front wall and 2 flip-up stops at the rear, keeps loads from rolling too far. Small ramps at each lane help guide pallets and make it easier for a forklift to enter. The structure is made from aluminum frames that sit on the floor. It arrives pre-assembled, so installing or retrofitting usually takes 8 to 12 hours with 2 people. Van versions use MK9 rollers with 3 lanes per frame and a full-length airbag for lifting. You can clamp or tie the frames into place, and they include front and rear stops. In warehouses, the system can be bolted straight to the concrete floor. Each solar panel is about 2 by 1 meter and only 3 millimeters thick. It can produce up to 430 watts in strong sun using high-efficiency monocrystalline cells. A panel weighs around 13 pounds and is built to handle regular washing and the bumps and vibration of daily use. The system stores energy in a 4 kilowatt-hour lithium battery that weighs about 77 pounds and sits inside the main electronics unit. It runs on a 24-volt setup with smart controls that juggle power from the solar panels, the battery, the vehicle's alternator, and the onboard electronics. You can keep an eye on everything remotely through a GPS and 4G connected dashboard that shows how the energy is flowing. It's made for trucks and trailers and supplies power whether the vehicle is parked or moving. While parked, it can run key cabin needs, like HVAC, lights, and infotainment, so you don't have to idle the engine. On the road, it can support or partly take over from the alternator to reduce load on the engine. On trailers, it can power tail lifts, pallet jacks, and similar tools even when the trailer isn't attached to the truck. Installation doesn't interfere with existing parts and usually takes 1 to 2 days. In testing, the system cut diesel uses by about 2,000 liters per vehicle per year, roughly a 5.5% fuel savings, and reduced CO2 emissions by 3 to 9 tons annually. In one longer study, it supplied 53% of a truck's electrical needs and saved more than 1,600 liters of diesel. By late 2024, around 100 vehicles in Europe were using the system, with adoption growing as fleets look to save fuel and lower emissions. This hook loader is built for heavy trucks. It can lift loads up to 26 tons and works with standard containers that are up to 5.79 meters long inside. The frame is a low, modular Z shape that keeps the center of gravity down, so the truck feels stable while driving and operating. It tips to 52 degrees for quick, clean unloading. Hydraulic cam locks hold the container firmly during transport, and it can pair with Harsh's width-adjustable hook-and-go sheeting system to keep loads covered to legal standards. It uses a hydraulic setup with minimal electronics, making it easier to run and fix. It weighs 3,250 kilograms and is made from high-tensile steel. Its modular design also shortens installation and makes routine service more direct. You can add options like remote control hook operation, drawbar couplings, and onboard weighing. These extras help it fit different jobs in waste, recycling, and heavy material transport. In day-to-day use, companies report strong reliability. One fleet that installed more than a dozen units saw steady lifting power, quick tipping, and very little downtime. Another ran it on a Scania 8x4 and liked the fast cycle times and flexible sheeting setup. A scrap operator logged 6 months of continuous work with no unplanned stoppages. Hadrian 10 is a huge robot that builds walls. It rides on a truck or crawler and stretches almost 98 feet long. It can lift blocks that weigh about 440 pounds and lay up to 500 of them every hour. These are big blocks, up to 12 times larger than normal bricks. Instead of using wet mortar, the machine uses a strong adhesive, like construction glue. This makes building faster. It's also extremely precise, placing blocks with accuracy of about plus or minus 0.02 inches, better than a person can do by hand. The robot works from a digital 3D plan. You upload the building design, and it turns that into step-by-step instructions. After setup and loading the materials, it places each block automatically and figures out the best path to use the materials. It runs on a diesel generator, but it can be adapted to use electric power if needed. Its dynamic stabilization technology uses sensors and smart controls to correct the arm's movement if there's wind, vibration, or uneven ground. It also checks its position with GPS, lasers, and cameras to make sure every block goes exactly where it should. The system has already built single-story house walls in Australia and the United States, usually in 1 to 2 days. It's now being prepared for bigger commercial jobs with multi-unit designs, and there are agreements to bring it to places like Mexico, India, Saudi Arabia, and the US. This is a truck that unfolds into a full stage in under an hour. It's built on a Foton Alman chassis. When you park, 4 hydraulic legs and 2 manual stabilizers keep everything steady. The roof, side wings, and main deck all move by hydraulic power and lock in place with safety pins, so setup is quick. Opened up, the stage is about 24 to 25 feet wide and 28 feet deep, with the deck 5 feet off the ground. The roof is around 15 feet high. The center floor uses anti-slip boards. The platform can handle up to 400 kilograms per square meter. Overhead, the roof rig can carry about 7,700 pounds, and the line array brackets can hold up to 1,000 kilograms total. A built-in truss includes 6 power sockets across 3 circuits. There's room for branding. A front banner around 35 feet by 4 feet, and 2 side banners about 5 feet by 14 feet. You can also add options like a 5 by 3 meter hydraulic LED screen, a full sound setup with line arrays, subs, monitors, and mixers, plus lighting like beam heads, LED pars, COB fixtures, fog, and a King Kong controller. Power comes from an ultra-silent 75 kilovolt ampere generator. Clearing snow and ice from trailer roofs is quicker with YETI. It uses a special floating head that automatically adjusts to the roof's height and to how thick the snow or ice is. A set of small skis keeps it in steady contact, so it cleans without damaging the surface. Inside the head are 3 rubber augers that work one after another. The first loosens packed snow without leaving marks. The second moves the material into a blower, and the third clears out leftover chunks. A brush then sweeps away the fine debris, so the roof is clean when you're done. The unit hooks up easily for most ground trucks, semis, carriers, and road trains. You can turn it on by hand or with a smart card. Its compact frame mounts on concrete or asphalt pads and doesn't take much space. Once the pad is ready, installing the unit takes about 4 hours, and you can have the full system up and running in a day. Operation is easy. The truck pulls in and starts the system. The floating head aligns itself, the augers begin, Then the blower and brush finish the job. The truck drives out with a clear roof and ready to load. One person can run the system. It cuts the job from around 30 minutes with manual tools to less than 2 minutes per trailer. Tractor-trailers can now achieve better fuel efficiency without requiring complicated upgrades or lengthy downtime. This isn't just a promise, it's reality, made possible by TruckWings, an aerodynamic solution that tackles one of the biggest challenges in trucking. The concept is both practical and innovative. TruckWings panels automatically close the gap between the tractor and the trailer, covering both the sides and the roof to reduce drag. It adjusts itself based on speed. Once the truck goes over 52 miles per hour, the panels slide out to close the gap between the cab and the trailer. That smooths airflow, cuts wind resistance, and saves energy. When the truck slows down or needs to maneuver in tight spots, the panels pull back automatically. No action needed from the driver. It fits many truck setups and fuel types, installs in under 2 hours, and ties into cloud telematics to track fuel use, deployment time, and emissions. Parts are easy to swap, so it fits right into normal fleet maintenance. In real use, fleets typically see 3% to 6% fuel savings, with tests showing up to 6.2% on diesel Class 8-day cabs. Windy conditions can boost savings further, sometimes up to 12%, depending on the truck and route. Trucks with a big gap between cab and trailer tend to pay back faster, while long-haul sleeper cabs get steady gains over many miles. On electric trucks, it can add about 10 to 150 extra miles. So far, trucks using this tech have logged more than 1 billion miles. Fleets report saving more than 1,100 gallons of diesel and cutting roughly 15,000 pounds of emissions per vehicle each year. Zafco's mobile workshop is basically a full tire shop packed into a small van that comes to you. It can do wheel alignment, wheel balancing, tire repairs, and tire replacements right at your location. Inside, there are tools like a tire changer, a balancer, power tools, a small air compressor, and storage for common tire sizes. The equipment runs off the van itself, using the engine, extra batteries, or a small generator, so it doesn't need a plug or outside power. Trained Zafco technicians run the service, aiming to deliver the same quality you'd get at a regular workshop. It's built for speed and efficiency, which is especially helpful for light commercial vehicles and fleets that can't afford long downtime. Because the van comes to you, vehicles are serviced faster and get back on the road sooner. This mobile service fits into Zafco's bigger picture. The company started in the early 1990s and is based in Dubai's Jebel Ali Free Zone. It operates across North America, Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. With more than 1.5 million tires stored in over 14 warehouses worldwide, and brands like Armstrong, Zetex, Accelera, and Otani. This machine is a mobile wood chipper built on a Volvo truck. It combines 3 main parts: a chipper, a crane, and an gripe and grapple. Together, they form a compact, high-capacity setup for turning logs into wood chips. The chipper is the heart of the system. It can handle large logs, up to 29 inches across, and, depending on the wood and screen used, can produce up to 200 cubic meters of chips per hour. You can choose the chip size by adjusting the knives and swapping screens. Hydraulic rollers pull the wood in at a speed you can set, feeding a 1.5-ton chip disc. Finished chips are blown out through a chute that swivels 280 degrees, so you can aim the discharge where you need it. The infeed table has a steel deck that helps crooked or mixed debris slide in smoothly. The Volvo truck provides the power. The 6x4 drive with hub reduction and automated gearbox give easy driving on rough, forested ground. With a gross weight rating up to 30 tons, the truck carries all the equipment easy, and the high-roof sleeper cab makes long shifts more manageable. Rolling LED screen trucks turn busy streets into ad spaces. They grab attention because they move, they're bright, and they show at the right moments. The screens are built to stay clear even in strong daylight, so they stand out more than regular billboards. The site doesn't list the exact resolution, but the displays look big and high contrast, easy to read outdoors. There are 3 ways to use the service. The subscription service gives constant exposure. At least 720 plays a day, which adds up to over 21,000 plays a month. These trucks often show up at big events, like outside stadiums during major games in Los Angeles. The custom package is for shorter needs. You can book just 4 hours, pick targeted routes, and line things up for launches, store openings, or public campaigns. The live stream package lets you show real-time content. Think live sports or gaming, directly on the truck, not just a repeating ad. What makes these trucks different is mobility. They go to places where attention already is, turning passive ads into active ones. That makes them great for time-sensitive promotions and brand activations. This sliding system is made for trucks and trailers that move a lot of goods fast. It uses strong mini-sliding pillars and a special roller setup with 5 wheels, which helps the system move smoothly along metal tracks. The top track is made from aluminum and works with both fixed and sliding roofs. The bottom track is stainless steel, 57 millimeters tall, and bolts directly to the side of the trailer frame, keeping everything stable. The tracks come in different lengths, so they can fit many types of trailers. At the front, there's a quick lock door that opens fast, while the back has a standard curtain door operated by a pull and ratchet. This setup lets drivers open or close the trailer from either end in just seconds. There are also optional setups, like quick lock doors on both sides or curtain-style doors at the front and back, depending on how the trailer is used. The system was put through a tough test at DAF Truck's test circuit in Eindhoven, where it was exposed to rough road conditions for the same distance as 1.7 million kilometers. This setup is often used in industries that need fast and frequent loading, like beverage delivery or transporting frozen or palletized goods. Its design reduces effort during loading and unloading and helps teams work quickly and reliably every day. Securing a trailer at the dock needs a system that works every time. This one is mounted on the surface of the dock and holds the trailer in place using a simple mechanical design. A strong 20-inch steel arm grips the trailer's rear tire. It works with tires from 30 to 44 inches in diameter and activates when the trailer backs up into position. It can engage when the rear axle is 43 to 158 inches from the dock, so it fits many trailer types, including those with lift gates. Once the arm locks onto the tire, the trailer can't roll while people are loading or unloading. The system has few moving parts, which makes it dependable and easy to maintain. It's built to perform the same way in different weather and temperatures. Fixed guides help the driver line up the trailer in the center of the dock. This improves the seal around the dock door and helps prevent wear and damage to the building and equipment. The restraint can also connect to your dock's safety system, lights, signals, and other visual cues, so staff can clearly see when a trailer is secured or moving. Because it locks onto the tire, it has to be deliberately released before the trailer can leave. This helps prevent early pull-away, which can cause serious injuries or equipment loss. Moving prototypes, race cars, youngtimers, and rare cars around Europe isn't regular shipping. It takes careful handling and experience. M&I Autotransport works in this niche, moving cars that are unique, hard to replace, or made in small numbers. They don't publish detailed equipment specs, but their focus on delicate, high-value cars suggests they use enclosed trucks and custom setups to keep vehicles safe and steady. This likely includes air ride suspension to reduce vibration and low, adjustable ramps for cars with very little ground clearance or those that can't drive on their own. Securing the cars is done with soft, non-abrasive straps and fittings that protect paint and underbodies. The team has around 20 to 25 years of experience. Over time, they've learned how to handle rare and experimental vehicles with consistent routines. They operate purpose-built transport trucks in several configurations: a flagship carrier that moves up to 6 cars, a smaller model that holds 4, and a single car trailer rated for 2,350 kilograms. No matter the setup, the work is completed to a high standard, supported by trucks that meet Euro 6 emissions requirements. Highway freight is moving into a new era with SuperDrive, a Level 4 self-driving system made for heavy trucks. In certain areas, like highways and routes between logistics hubs, the truck can drive without a human driver. The system learns from huge amounts of data and is built to adapt quickly. Tools like automatic data labeling and compact model training help it learn faster and run efficiently. On the truck, the AI makes split-second decisions as road conditions change. Safety is stacked in 3 layers. First, an AI sees the road and predicts how nearby vehicles and people might move. Second, another AI helps make sense of unusual situations. Third, a set of simple, hard rules constantly checks and corrects the truck's behavior. Together, these create a closed safety loop. For awareness, the truck uses cameras, LiDAR, and radar, working together to give a full 360-degree view. This helps it stay in lane, track other road users, and spot obstacles with precision. The technology has been tested in many places, on US interstates, Swedish roads, and Australian highways, so it can handle different terrain and traffic rules. Major truck makers and logistics companies are piloting it. Partners include the Traton Group, Hyundai, and Iveco, with some trucks using hydrogen fuel cell power. A notable early demo was a 2,800-mile coast-to-coast US trip in 2019. Today, the Beta 5.0 software is live in North America and Europe. The Q-Loader is an automated system that loads and unloads trucks fast, often a full load in less than 15 minutes. It can handle up to 33 pallets arranged 11 by 3, with total weights up to 24 tons. The platform is 2.4 meters wide, 13.4 meters long, and about 3 meters tall. It needs at least 5 centimeters of space on each side of the load and 20 centimeters between the top of the load and the trailer ceiling. Its floor can support up to 1,200 kilograms per square meter. It works with curtain-side semi-trailers, mega-trailers, and standard 40-foot sea containers. You don't have to modify the trailer. The system is fixed to the floor. Operation is fully automatic. The trailer backs onto a built-in ramp, and cameras with remote controls help line it up. Long forks slide under the entire load. Lift it, and then pull back to move the load in or out. This cycle repeats to keep things moving quickly. The Q-Loader can link to other warehouse systems like conveyor belts, automated guided vehicles, and storage systems. By cutting down on manual handling and forklift traffic, it lowers the risk of damage and shortens time at the dock. Faster cycles also mean fewer dock doors need to stay open, which saves energy, and trucks spend less time idling. Sites using the system report big time savings, up to 60 minutes less per truck, with some full unloads done in under 10 minutes. The higher throughput can reduce how many docks you need. In busy operations running 3 shifts at around 3 loads per hour, payback is often reported within 2 years. The MDTU-20 is a detachable towing unit you can add to a regular trailer when you need extra pulling power. It's built for tough recovery and transport jobs. The main boom and the underlift are each rated for 20 tons, so they can handle demanding tows. The winch is rated for 8 tons and uses a worm gear setup that gives smooth, controlled pulling. The boom can lift up to a 43-degree angle and also tilt down to -14 degrees, which helps when working under low clearances. Most setups use a diesel engine. You can attach or remove the MDTU-20 as needed, turning a standard trailer into a capable tow vehicle. That means you can boost your towing capacity without buying several specialized trucks. It's a smart option for teams that want to manage their fleet efficiently and adapt to different jobs quickly. The unit is built on a heavy, overbuilt frame for strength and long life. It's aimed at light to medium work, things like roadside recovery, supporting small fleets, or service companies that want to add towing without purchasing a full wrecker. You can add options to make it more useful in the field. Dual tool steel boxes keep your gear organized. A full-frame fork package gives extra support for heavier lifts. You can operate it with wireless remote or manual controls, and you can choose upgrades like chrome handles and multiple D-ring anchor points to set up different recovery rigs. This trailer axle is built for heavy-duty work in commercial transport. Each axle can carry up to 9 tons. You can choose disc brakes in 19.5-inch or 22.5-inch sizes. The suspension uses air springs matched to the brake setup, and everything is held with bolted clamps, so maintenance doesn't need welding. The axle tube is made using friction welding, which makes it tougher against bending and twisting. There's also an optional twin lift feature that lets you raise or lower a lift axle when needed. It comes in 2 versions, an older split mount style with an anchor plate and a newer closed mount design. Both can be added later with a bolt-on kit that fits existing systems. You can run the lift function automatically or manually. It can trigger with the brake pedal or with a switch on the control unit. Manual control needs an electronic braking system, which lets you override automatic settings based on load or speed. Key parts include shock absorbers, air bellows, suspension links, brake cylinders, automatic slack adjusters, camshafts, and hub assemblies. These work together with the trailer's air and brake systems. The maker recommends that trained staff handle installation and checks. The FAS Rear Platform can carry up to 875 kilograms. It's made for hauling things like quad bikes, motorcycles, e-bikes, or spare wheels on expedition trucks. It bolts straight to the truck's chassis, so the weight goes to the strongest part of the vehicle instead of the living area. You can choose different layouts, including folding or sloped versions. Some versions carry a bit less, around 675 kilograms, but still work with common overland setups. Loading is easier thanks to an electric winch with a cable remote, so you don't have to lift heavy gear by hand. The frame slides and locks into 3 height positions. A low setting for better stability off-road, a middle setting that's handy for fitting wheels, and a high setting that keeps the overall height within typical road legal limits, around 2 meters. The platform can hold 2 spare wheels, either standing up or tucked underneath, depending on the space you have. Rear lights and optional cameras move with the platform. You can add extras to suit your trip. Lockable storage boxes, rails for bikes or motorcycles, mounts for sand plates. All add-ons fit the system without messing up weight balance or how the platform works. This is a curtain-sider semi-trailer, the kind with soft sides that slide open like curtains. It has 3 axles and can carry up to 59,500 pounds. The design is modular, so you can set it up the way you need. The coupling height can be adjusted, so it matches different tractor units. Loading heavy machines is easier with hydraulic ramps and stabilizing feet. The sides open with sliding curtains that you can customize with your own look. Movable side posts make the opening wider. The tarpaulin can shift outward for extra wide loads, and the rear pillars can extend to give more space. Up top, the roof opens by hand and can lift hydraulically to nearly 15 feet. It has multiple locks to keep it secure while you work. A roof airbag system helps prevent chunks of ice from building up in winter. In the neck area, there are powered winches rated from 11,000 to 22,000 pounds. You can run them electrically or hydraulically and control them by remote. The hydraulic system can use an onboard electric pump. An onboard computer keeps an eye on important things like axle load, brake condition, and suspension settings. You can also adjust the ride height for travel. Liftable axles raise themselves when the load shifts or gets lighter, which helps save tires and fuel. Built by a family-owned company with long experience in transport, this trailer focuses on being easy to operate. In tough places, like forests, construction sites, or steep, slippery tracks, this add-on helps a trailer get better grip. It uses the towing vehicle's hydraulics to push small drive rollers between the trailer's twin tires. When the rollers touch the tires, power from the driven axle is passed to the free axle. For a short time, the trailer behaves like it has 4-wheel drive. The driver can switch it on from the cab, often with a single button. The main parts are a hydraulic roller unit and a simple control line with a valve. Some versions also have a hydraulic axle lock and a way to adjust how fast the rollers turn, so you can match the traction to the ground. Mud, snow, rocks, you name it. Brands differ in details, but the idea is the same. Flip from normal 2-wheel drive to a steadier setup only when you need extra grip. For more during regular road driving, the system stays off, which saves the tires and reduces load on the hydraulics. When conditions get messy, you drop the rollers in, get the extra traction, then lift them back out. A similar idea has been used on trucks. For example, a modified 8x2 linked its axles with a gear so it could act like a 6x4 only when required. This trailer system follows the same principle: send torque across only when the ground demands it. This eTrailer is an add-on you can bolt onto a regular trailer to make it partly electric. No changes to the truck up front. It swaps in an electric axle and a built-in battery pack under the trailer. The battery can be up to 300 kilowatt hours, which is enough for a full day of typical use. You can charge it from depot power or with standard DC fast charging while trailers are parked, so you don't need big new charging setups. The electric axle helps push the trailer and also recaptures energy when you slow down. That improves control and grip. In testing, stopping distances got 4 to 10% shorter on dry roads and more than 10% shorter on packed snow. In hard swerves and quick avoidance maneuvers, handling was smoother and rollover risk dropped. On snow, the trailer could take corners about 5% faster, while side forces were cut by up to 25%. Installing it is quick, just a few hours. You replaced the trailer's existing axle and added the battery module, with no structural changes. It fits most 33 to 53-foot trailers with tandem air ride suspension and keeps payloads of 36,000 pounds or more. Out on the road, fleets saw fuel economy rise from about 7 to 12 miles per gallon, which cuts diesel use and emissions a lot. Refrigerated trailers benefit too. Their fridge units run less and use less energy, saving up to $9,900 a year. Combined fuel and auxiliary power savings can top $21,000 per trailer each year. Brakes also last longer because regenerative braking does part of the work, reducing maintenance. And even if the battery runs out, the trailer tows normally without extra drag, so operations keep moving. This German-made lifting system uses 4 separate support legs. Each leg is strong enough to carry up to half of the total weight on its own, so the whole setup is very stable. You can attach it to standard container corners or with custom adapters, which makes it easy to use on many different platforms. The lifting mechanism is a telescopic spindle that sits inside sealed tubes, keeping dust, sand, and dirt out. You can choose a manual crank or an electric version. Some electric models can level themselves automatically, so the load stays even on uneven ground. Safety sensors watch the tilt angle and stop the system if it goes beyond safe limits. It stays stable in winds up to 45 miles per hour. The Type 257 model can lift up to 8,800 pounds. Its standard lift height is 68.9 inches, and it can reach 78.7 inches with adjusted settings. Type 260 boosts the capacity to 16,500 pounds and can handle a tilt of up to 7 degrees. Type 273 is built for radar shelters. It adds diagonal bracing, works with CAN bus control systems, and lifts up to 15,400 pounds. Many of these fold up, which makes transport and storage easier. Options include radio remote control, automatic doors, and a battery system that can lower the platform if power is lost. Here we have a special semi-trailer made to carry huge glass panes safely while they stand upright on racks. The base is a 3-axle frame with a single long beam, a reinforced front crossbeam, and heavy-duty axle links. To ride well, the trailer uses an air-based suspension system combined with special balancers. This helps it handle shifting weight, important when moving tall glass, and it's gentler on roads. Securing the load is simple and safe. There are hydraulic braces that can press from the sides or from above and below, plus the Mecha push system, which works like a strong side lock to stop the racks from sliding. Longer reach hydraulic arms, adjustable supports, and added reinforcements mean it can handle taller racks and different cargo setups. You can choose from several versions depending on what you need. The light model weighs about 13,250 pounds and offers a 24-foot loading channel, the space where the glass sits. The Superlight trims weight to about 12,790 pounds by removing the front rocker. For longer glass, the XL has a 32.5-foot channel and weighs about 19,950 pounds, while the XXL stretches to 41.7 feet and about 23,590 pounds. All of these come with a gooseneck platform and a sliding cover. There's also an economy model at around 15,840 pounds, with steel wheels and a 25.3-foot channel, aimed at a good balance of features and cost. In big trucks and buses, staying in control during tricky moments is critical. It constantly watches how the vehicle is moving and steps in if it starts to lose control, whether it's tilting, rolling, swerving, or a trailer beginning to jackknife. Unlike systems that only beep or flash a warning, ESCsmart actually helps. It can apply the brakes at individual wheels, which steady the vehicle and supports the driver in real time. ESCsmart works as part of ZF's electronic braking system. That means the braking and stability features talk to each other closely. It fits a wide range of truck and bus models from different makers and can be added late in the assembly process without complicated setup. A good example is the Volta Zero, a fully electric 16-ton delivery truck. There, ESCsmart works alongside other electronics like automatic emergency braking, a power-assisted parking brake, lane departure warnings, and independent front suspension. Together, they provide the control that modern electric city delivery vehicles need. The system doesn't use a one-size-fits-all response. It checks many factors in real time and decides what to do. If a truck is going too fast into a curve or suddenly hits a slippery patch, this system reacts to keep the vehicle stable. Clearing snow and ice off trailers in winter needs to be safe, consistent, and quick. This de-icing system uses a set of fast, side-mounted brushes that vibrate about 500 times a minute. They shake off snow and ice, light or heavy, so there's no need for workers to climb up and scrape by hand. The height can be adjusted, so it works with both dry box trailers and flatbeds. It even handles roofs that aren't perfectly flat, removing buildup while protecting the surface. The unit is compact, taking up about 50 square feet, so it fits in tight yards. You can secure it with 4 ground screws or bolt it to a concrete pad, depending on what your site allows. It runs on a simple single-phase drive, no complicated belts, conveyors, or augers. With fewer moving parts, there's less to maintain and less downtime. After each use, the area stays clear so trucks can keep moving. There's a Wi-Fi camera that shows live video and can record clips or take photos. The system also has a built-in tag reader, high and ultra-high frequency, that can recognize trailers and line them up automatically, so drivers don't have to get out adjusting their position. Here we have a single box that combines the valve, the electronics, and the pressure sensor for a truck's air suspension. Instead of using separate parts, it puts everything together in one module. It's built mainly for Class 8 tractors from brands like Freightliner, Peterbilt, and Volvo. By doing this, it cuts down on wiring, speeds up installation, and reduces places where things can fail. You can buy it as a retrofit kit. A typical kit includes the SmartValve, an interface module, a wiring harness, an electrical kit, and the hardware and plumbing that match your truck. The unit talks to the truck over a bus at 250 kilobits per second, using vehicle speed to automatically manage ride height. In everyday use, SmartValve keeps the truck at a steady ride height and uses less air than traditional mechanical setups. There are 2 simple dash switches: raise and dump. Raise lifts the rear axle a bit to make jobs like hooking up a trailer easier. Dump lowers it for the same kind of tasks. Once you drive above about 7 miles per hour, the system returns the suspension to normal height on its own. Some factory settings raise this return to normal speed to about 17 miles per hour. The driver interface is easy: push buttons and a 2-color LED. A built-in pressure sensor reads "Dump Pilot Pressure," so you don't need extra parts. The LED shows what's going on, solid green for normal operation, and uses specific blink patterns to point to any issues. This leaf collection machine runs on a 130 horsepower diesel engine, so it has steady, reliable power for tough cleanups. A large 32-inch fan creates strong airflow that quickly pulls in leaves and debris. Dumping is easy and clean. The bed lifts high, up to 14 feet, and uses a downdraft system to empty without mess. The leaf box is removable, so when it's full you can swap it out fast and keep working. One person can run the whole system. The engine is built to handle long shifts without losing power, and the big fan moves a lot of air, which speeds up the job and cuts collection time. This unit is made for repeated, high-volume work, perfect for cities, campuses, and large properties. Whether you're clearing streets during fall or maintaining big grounds, the tall dump height and removable box help you adapt to different sites and changing debris loads. This system is a fully integrated suspension for Class A motorhomes. It combines a new front setup with a proven rear design, so the whole chassis works together for a smoother drive. Up front, it uses a special linkage that lets the front of the chassis move straight up and down when you brake. That means less nosedive, and stopping feels steadier. Similar to a fancy independent front suspension, but without the bigger price tag. The steering geometry is tuned to keep the wheels from pulling or wandering when you hit bumps, and a patented V-Link part handles up to 70% of the side-to-side body lean. That lets the 12.5-inch outboard air springs and custom Sachs shocks focus on ride comfort. The front also uses a sturdy U-shaped layout for extra stability. In the back, the V-Ride suspension is the first single-axle setup rated for up to 24,000 pounds. It also uses the U-shaped design and adds a V-rod link that spreads forces across the frame. The result is a 5 to 7% boost in side-to-side stiffness, which helps the coach feel planted. Spending long hours behind the wheel of a truck doesn't have to be tiring. It can actually feel enjoyable when the driver is seated in a Boston-wide ride. To maximize comfort, the design team partnered with one of America's top mattress makers, and the result speaks for itself. It uses a precise suspension system and comfy cushioning. The cushion is 23 inches wide, and the backrest is about 38 inches tall. The scissor-style suspension gives you 4 inches of smooth travel and comes in two heights, about 17 inches or about 15 inches. A strong damper and a fore-aft isolator help cut down on bouncing and the push-pull feeling from rough roads and braking, so the ride feels more stable. For comfort, the seat uses Serta Cool Action Gel memory foam to improve airflow and ease pressure points. There's a back cycler feature that gently inflates and deflates the lower back area to keep your circulation moving and reduce stiffness. You also get dual-chamber air lumbar support for more precise adjustments. The seat slides forward and back by about 9.5 inches, and each armrest is 16 inches long and adjustable. Heat is available no matter which fabric you choose, and leather versions can add ventilation to help manage temperature. The base version costs $1,485. With the Netcap sliding tarp, loading and unloading are quicker. It installs on the semi-trailer, one person can slide it into position, and it lets you handle cargo faster, even with several forklifts working at the same time. The frame is 12.8 meters long, and the trailer can carry up to 32 tons. The hood folds into 6 parts and can slide all the way to the front or the back. When it's folded up, it only takes 1.8 meters of space, leaving the rest of the trailer open. It's reinforced where it touches the frame, and a rubber strip along the bottom helps keep out dirt and water. Quick locks at the front and a quick release latch at the rear make opening and closing fast. Inside, the cargo area has a 28mm hardwood floor, supported by strong steel omega-shaped beams. Ever wonder why some roads feel silky smooth, while others rattle like a washboard? A big part of the difference comes down to the tools paving crews use. Take the mobile superski system. It uses 15 independent ultrasonic sensors to scan the roadway in real time, guiding crews to correct tiny height variations. With that precise feedback, they can lay a consistently level, glassy smooth surface. Each sensor is light and clicks into place in less than 3 minutes. The plug-and-play mount also makes the electrical connection automatically. Instead of touching the road, the system listens with ultrasound to measure the surface. It samples many points and averages them to create a virtual reference line. That helps smooth out bumps where surfaces meet, like joints or height changes. Setup takes just 3 minutes. The system works with every asphalt paver, regardless of make, model, or year. It's built to resist vibration, dust and fog, and it accelerates crews by removing time-wasting manual rechecks. On Poland's A1 highway, the construction company used it, and the resurfaced section came out more uniform, especially along the length of the road, based on IRI tests, a standard way to measure smoothness.